Greetings, my friends. I am Chief Bakery, the bold, your wise, mostly wise, and sometimes very funny guide today. Now, today, we are diving deep into the heart of Africa to discover stories of courage, power, magic, and God so old they probably remember when fire was invented. Take a look at the dazzling map behind me. Can you see it? Today's journey will take us through the legendary African heroes, the epic wars that changed kingdoms, the myths that will make your hair stand on end, and the mighty gods that rule it all. Each section is packed with legends, mysteries, and plenty of tales that make even Chief Bakery sit in awe. Let's start with the heroes, the brave ones who became legends. Ready? Hold on to your hats or whatever you have on your head. Chief Bakery is taking you on an unforgettable adventure. Now, let's talk about the true warriors, rulers, and defenders of Africa, our heroes. These are the people whose bravery made them legends. But these heroes weren't wearing capes, no. Some had shields, others had wisdom, and a few had powers that would make even the bravest warriors tremble. Let's begin with one of the greatest, shall we? Meet Shaka Zulu, the man who turned a small Zulu clan into one of the most powerful forces in Africa. Shaka was, let's say, not a man to cross. With a mind sharper than his spear, he invented new battle tactics, like the buffalo horns formation, sending his soldiers into battle with the precision of an orchestra, but with spears and shields instead of instruments. He'd send the strongest warriors as the horns to encircle the enemy, while the main force charged from the center. If you were an enemy, you'd be looking for a quick exit. But it wasn't just his tactics, Shaka demanded absolute discipline. His warriors were said to run 50 miles without stopping, all barefoot. Can you imagine? That's dedication, my friends. So, next time you think your workout is hard, just remember the Zulu warriors. Now, let's travel north to meet a queen who was as fierce as she was wise, Queen Nzinga of Ndongo and Matamba. Oh, she was a clever one. Nzinga was the kind of queen who wouldn't let anything stand in her way. She's famous for negotiating with the Portuguese colonizers, and legend has it, when they didn't offer her a chair during a meeting, she ordered one of her warriors to act as a human throne. She sat there, calm and collected, showing the Portuguese who's boss. Queen Nzinga knew how to use both her mind and her might. She would lead her army into battle herself, and when her kingdom faced threats, she formed alliances, rebuilt her forces, and kept her people strong. She was a true strategist. Imagine playing chess against her. You'd lose before you even knew the game had started. Or, now for one of my favorites, Sundiata Keita, the founder of the Mali Empire. They called him the Lion King, but trust me, he was way more than a cartoon. Born in the 13th century, Sundiata faced hardship from a young age, with rivals trying to take his life because of a prophecy. But like all great heroes, he rose above it. Sundiata wasn't just a warrior, he was a master of uniting people. He gathered tribes and clans from across Mali, creating one of Africa's most powerful empires. And with that unity, he brought peace, prosperity, and a love for learning. Timbuktu, the legendary city of knowledge, was part of his legacy. He fearless Asantewa of the Ashanti Empire. Imagine this, in a time when women were rarely seen on battlefields, Asantewa picked up a rifle, rallied her people, and declared war against British invaders who wanted to take the Ashanti golden stool, the symbol of their unity and spirit. Her speech was legendary, calling out the men for not defending their land. With Asantewa leading the charge, the Ashanti held strong. She became a symbol of resistance, and her spirit of courage still echoes in Ghana today. Or, now here's a hero who's as famous for his wealth as for his wisdom, Mansa Musa of Mali. Known as the richest man in history, Mansa Musa took a pilgrimage to Mecca with so much gold that he actually caused inflation in every city he passed through. Imagine that. But Musa wasn't just about the gold. He used his wealth to build schools, libraries, and mosques, turning Mali into a center of learning and culture. Timbuktu became a city of knowledge under his rule, attracting scholars from all over. So yes, Mansa Musa was rich, but his legacy goes way beyond that gold. Now, let's head to Ethiopia to meet King Lalibela, a visionary who literally carved history into stone. Lalibela is known for the 11 rock-hewn churches he commissioned, which were carved directly into the mountains. That's right, entire churches made from a single block of rock. The king wanted to create a New Jerusalem right in Ethiopia, and many believe he had divine guidance. Today, those churches are still standing, an architectural wonder that attracts thousands of visitors each year. Lalibela's legacy is literally set in stone. Let's go way back to meet Taharqa, a king of Nubia who ruled over Egypt as part of the 25th dynasty. Taharqa was both a fierce warrior and a devout king who believed in the power of gods and the strength of his people. Taharqa fought the Assyrians, defended Egypt, and expanded his kingdom. He also built massive temples and statues, leaving his mark on history as both a conqueror and a builder. He may not be as well known today, but believe me, Taharqa's story is one for the history books. Now, for a royal romance. Queen Makeda, the Queen of Sheba, journeyed from Africa to meet the famous King Solomon in Jerusalem. Their encounter became legendary, sparking tales of wisdom, power, and a connection that would bridge their kingdoms. Makeda was known for her intelligence and strength, ruling her kingdom with wisdom and prosperity. It's said that she returned to Africa bearing the wisdom of Solomon and the legacy of their legendary meeting. Who doesn't love a story of a powerful queen and a wise king? Meet Samori Toure, the founder of the Wasulu Empire and a man who fought like a lion to defend his people from colonial forces. Samori Toure wasn't just a warrior, he was a military genius. He reorganized his army to adapt to modern warfare, using guerrilla tactics to keep the invaders on their toes. He resisted the French for over a decade, refusing to let go of his people's independence. Although he was eventually captured, Samori Toure remains a symbol of resistance and resilience. Not an easy hero to forget. Menelik II, the king who led Ethiopia to victory against colonial forces in the famous Battle of Odwa. When Italy tried to make Ethiopia a protectorate, Menelik and his troops stood strong and sent them running back home. Menelik's victory made Ethiopia one of the only African nations to resist colonization successfully. His victory inspired freedom movements across the continent, proving that African unity and strength could stand up to any power. Menelik is truly a hero of heroes. Meet Amilcar Cabral, a man who wasn't just a hero with a sword but a hero with a vision. Born in Guinea-Bissau and raised in Cape Verde, Cabral was a freedom fighter and one of the intellectual giants of West Africa. He believed that the most powerful weapon wasn't violence, it was knowledge. Cabral led his people in a peaceful, organized struggle against Portuguese rule. He united the farmers, educated the youth, and used his sharp mind to rally his people. Cabral didn't just want independence, he wanted his people to thrive. He's a true symbol of a brainy hero. Let's talk about Kita, a brave leader of the Yu people from the regions now known as Ghana and Togo. Kita wasn't afraid to stand up against those who threatened his land. With his sharp mind and fierce courage, he protected the Yu from enemies who sought to conquer them. He wasn't just a leader, he was a protector, keeping his people united and strong. Kita's name became legendary, remembered for his love of freedom and his devotion to his people. Truly, a hero's hero. Now we are off to meet Madibo Adoma, a warrior scholar from northern Nigeria. Adoma didn't just defend his land, he was known for his knowledge and his dedication to spreading education. He founded the Adamawa Emirate, which still bears his name. Adoma's legacy isn't just in his conquests, it's in the minds he helped shape and the peace he brought to his land. Who says a warrior can't also be a scholar, eh? Now we have Queen Amina of Zozo, known as Nigeria's warrior queen. Amina led her people to countless victories, expanding her kingdom into new territories. She was known for her fearless approach to battle, always riding at the front of her army. She wasn't just a warrior, she was a skilled leader who built walled cities to protect her people. Amina left a legacy of strength, resilience, and bravery that lives on. Queen Amina wasn't just a ruler, she was a legend in her own right. Or, here we have Yue the Great, the Oba of Benin. They call him the Great for a reason. Yue was a master builder, expanding the Kingdom of Benin to make it one of the most sophisticated cities in the world at the time. Yue didn't just conquer, he brought in art, culture, and architecture that transformed Benin. Those famous Benin bronzes. They began under his reign. When it comes to art and influence, Yue was a hero who still stands out. Let's meet Agoja of Dahomey, known as the king who wouldn't back down. Agoja was a bold leader who wasn't afraid to use force when necessary. He expanded his kingdom and was famous for his alliance with the legendary Dahomey Amazons, the fierce female warriors who struck fear into the hearts of enemies. Agoja knew how to keep his enemies in check while also growing his empire. Some call him a hero, others, a strategist. Either way, he made sure Dahomey was no place for the faint-hearted. Now, let's meet Alhaji Umar Tall, a warrior and a religious leader from Senegal and Mali. Umar Tall was known for his charisma and dedication to his beliefs. He led campaigns across West Africa, not only as a conqueror but as a leader with a spiritual purpose. He dreamed of a united Muslim state in West Africa, spreading education and faith wherever he went. His legacy lives on as a man of strong convictions who inspired loyalty and respect across West Africa. And here we have Nana Prempeh, a leader of the Ashanti Empire who faced the British with unwavering resilience. Prempeh wasn't just a king, he was a protector who refused to give up his people or his kingdom, even when facing intense pressure from colonizers. He fought for Ashanti independence and culture, making sure his people knew their worth. Even in the face of exile, Prempeh's loyalty and love for his people made him a hero. Last but certainly not least, Georgia of Apobo. Originally a slave, Georgia rose to become a powerful leader in Nigeria, creating his own kingdom in Apobo. Known for his shrewd business mind, he dominated the palm oil trade, making Apobo a center of wealth and power. Georgia defied British colonial rules and refused to pay unfair taxes, showing incredible resilience and intelligence. His story is one of triumph against the odds, a true hero of the people. And there you have it. Africa's heroes, each one a warrior, a leader, a visionary. Now, as much as I could go on about these legends, it's time to shift gears. Next up, we're diving into the battles that shook the continent. And oh, there's no shortage of excitement there, my friends. Grab a snack, get comfy, because the adventure is just beginning. Let's head into the history of African wars, coming up next. Welcome back, warriors and scholars. Chief Bakery here, ready to guide you through Africa's most epic and turbulent battles. These aren't just skirmishes, no. Each one shaped kingdoms, toppled empires, and inspired future generations. So grab your shields, because we're about to journey through 10 of the greatest African wars. The Anglo-Zulu War of 1879 was a clash between the Zulu Kingdom and the British Empire in South Africa, an iconic confrontation that highlighted the Zulus' fierce military tactics. The British, hungry for control over South African lands, demanded that the Zulu king, Setshweo, disband his mighty army. Unsurprisingly, the proud Zulu king refused, and the British forces soon marched into Zulu territory. The first major encounter was the Battle of Isanwena, where the Zulu forces, armed with traditional spears and shields, launched an incredible attack against British troops. Despite their lack of firearms, the Zulu warriors overpowered the British in one of the greatest victories in Zulu history. The British suffered one of their worst defeats, and Isanwena became a symbol of Zulu resilience and military prowess. The British regrouped after Isanwena, however, determined to crush the Zulu resistance. With reinforcements and modern weaponry, they finally defeated the Zulu forces in the Battle of Ulandi. Though the British emerged victorious in the end, the Zulu kingdom's bold resistance left a lasting impression, challenging the British narrative of African inferiority. The Anglo-Zulu War is remembered as a courageous stand against colonial power, where the Zulu warriors' tactical skills and bravery shocked the world. Today, Zulu history celebrates this period as a symbol of pride and resilience in the face of oppression. The First Italo-Ethiopian War was a defining moment in African history, a David and Goliath tale where Ethiopia, led by Emperor Menelik II, resisted Italian colonization. Italy attempted to impose a protectorate over Ethiopia, but Menelik refused to give up his country's sovereignty. Both sides prepared for war, but Italy underestimated the Ethiopian forces. In 1896, the Italians advanced toward the Ethiopian highlands, but Menelik had rallied an enormous army, with warriors coming from various Ethiopian regions. The climactic Battle of Odwa saw tens of thousands of Ethiopian troops outnumbering and overwhelming the Italians. Using superior tactics and knowledge of the terrain, Menelik's forces inflicted a crushing defeat on the Italian invaders. This victory at Odwa became a beacon of hope for African nations under colonial rule, proving that European powers were not invincible. Ethiopia retained its independence, making it one of the few African nations to resist colonization successfully. The victory was celebrated across Africa and the diaspora, symbolizing the strength and unity of African resistance. The First Italo-Ethiopian War is remembered as a triumph of African dignity and autonomy. Emperor Menelik II's strategic brilliance and Ethiopia's unyielding resistance inspired future liberation movements across the continent. The Moji Moji Rebellion was a powerful uprising in German East Africa, modern-day Tanzania, against oppressive German colonial rule. The Germans imposed harsh taxes and forced labor on the African people, sparking resentment among various ethnic groups. When a spiritual leader named Kenjikital Nguel claimed to have a potion, Moji, that could protect warriors from bullets, the people rallied around him. With newfound hope, different tribes joined together, launching attacks on German outposts and plantations. The German colonizers were initially caught off guard, but they soon responded with brutal force, even using machine guns to suppress the rebels. The Germans burned villages, destroyed crops, and left a trail of devastation in their wake. Despite the Germans' ruthless tactics, the unity and bravery of the Moji Moji warriors made a lasting impact. Although they eventually lost, the rebellion marked a significant turning point in African resistance to colonialism. The rebellion showed the power of unity among diverse groups against a common enemy. Today, the Moji Moji Rebellion is remembered as one of the earliest anti-colonial wars in Africa. The sacrifices made by the warriors of Tanganyika are honored as a symbol of defiance and resilience in the face of foreign domination. The Boer Wars were a series of conflicts between British forces and Dutch settlers, the Boers, in South Africa. Although primarily a war between European powers, African communities were deeply affected and drawn into the conflict. The British sought control of South Africa's gold and diamond mines, which led to the brutal conflict with the Boers, who resisted British expansion. African communities, particularly the Zulu and other native tribes, were often caught in the crossfire or forced to support one side. The British introduced concentration camps to detain Boer women and children, leading to humanitarian crises and widespread suffering. Africans in South Africa observed the ruthlessness of British warfare tactics firsthand. The Boers eventually surrendered, but the wars left deep scars. The British took control of South Africa's resources, while African communities faced further marginalization and exploitation. The Boer Wars highlighted the colonial powers' willingness to destroy and dominate for resources. The Boer Wars set the stage for future struggles in South Africa, including the apartheid regime. The conflict exposed the lengths to which imperial forces would go to seize wealth, often disregarding the lives of local communities. The Franco-Algerian War was one of Africa's most prolonged and brutal fights for independence. Algeria had been a French colony since 1830, but the Algerian people grew determined to gain their freedom. The war began in 1954 when the National Liberation Front, FLN, launched attacks against French targets, sparking an 8-year struggle. The FLN used guerrilla tactics, hiding in the mountains and attacking French convoys and military posts. French forces responded with severe retaliation, targeting civilian populations and employing torture, which intensified Algerians' resolve. The war was incredibly violent, with both sides suffering heavy losses. Despite French efforts to suppress the rebellion, Algerians from all walks of life joined the cause, united in their desire for freedom. The war sparked debates within France, and eventually, global pressure mounted against the French occupation. By 1962, Algeria finally gained its independence, marking a significant victory for African nationalism. The Franco-Algerian War became a powerful symbol of resilience and the will to be free. It served as an inspiration for other African nations under colonial rule, showing that the cost of freedom was worth the struggle. The Mau Mau uprising was an armed rebellion against British colonial rule in Kenya, mainly led by the Kikuyu ethnic group. The British had seized fertile lands, pushing many Kenyans into poverty and resentment. In response, the Kikuyu formed the Mau Mau movement, a secret society dedicated to reclaiming their lands and rights. The Mau Mau fighters took to the forest, using guerrilla tactics to ambush British forces. The British declared a state of emergency, deploying massive forces and rounding up thousands of suspected Mau Mau supporters into detention camps. These camps were notorious for inhumane conditions, fueling the Kenyans' anger even further. The Mau Mau uprising was brutal, with the British using extreme measures to quell the rebellion, including torture. The conflict drew international attention to the cruelty of colonial rule, and by the late 1950s, global pressure for decolonization grew. The Mau Mau uprising ultimately paved the way for Kenyan independence, which was achieved in 1963. Today, the Mau Mau fighters are celebrated as heroes who fought to free Kenya from oppression, highlighting the sacrifices made for future generations. The Anglo-Ashanti Wars were a series of conflicts between the Ashanti Empire in modern-day Ghana and the British. The British sought to control the rich resources of the Ashanti Kingdom, particularly gold. However, the Ashanti fiercely defended their sovereignty and refused to submit to British demands. The war spanned nearly a century, with intense battles and shifting alliances. The Ashanti, led by powerful rulers like King Prempeh and Queen Nyasantoa, displayed incredible resistance. They used the dense forest to their advantage, launching surprise attacks and ambushes against the British forces. In the final war, the British managed to capture the Ashanti capital of Kumasi, but the Ashanti spirit remained unbroken. Queen Nyasantoa famously led a last stand, rallying her people to resist British occupation, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Though the British ultimately gained control, the Anglo-Ashanti Wars are remembered for the Ashanti's fierce resistance and unwavering pride. These wars remain a powerful symbol of African defiance against colonial rule. Samori Toure, founder of the Wassoulou Empire in West Africa, waged a prolonged war against the French colonizers. His empire stretched across Guinea, Mali, and Côte d'Ivoire, and he was determined to protect his land from foreign domination. Samori built a disciplined army, employing guerrilla tactics that confounded the French forces. The French tried various strategies to capture Samori, but he constantly adapted, retreating and regrouping his forces when necessary. He moved his capital multiple times, staying one step ahead of the French forces. The War of Samori Toure became one of the longest resistance movements against European powers in Africa. Despite his best efforts, Samori was eventually captured in 1898, marking the end of his empire. However, his resistance against the French became legendary, symbolizing the strength of African leadership and resilience. Today, Samori Toure is celebrated as a hero of African independence, a man who fought tirelessly to protect his people's sovereignty. The Battle of Omdurman was a clash between the Modernist Sudanese forces and the British Army, led by General Kitchener. The Modernist, following the teachings of the Islamic leader Muhammad Ahmad, known as the Mahdi, had established an independent state in Sudan, challenging British Egyptian rule. In 1898, the British launched an assault to reclaim Sudan, resulting in the Battle of Omdurman. Despite the Modernist warriors' bravery, the British forces, equipped with modern artillery and machine guns, decimated the Sudanese forces in a brutal confrontation. The Modernist fought valiantly but were overpowered. The Battle of Omdurman marked the end of the Modernist state, with Sudan falling under British control. The battle was a grim reminder of the technological superiority that often determined colonial conflicts. Although the Modernist were defeated, their resistance inspired other African movements, becoming a symbol of courage against foreign occupation. The Somali Dervish resistance, led by Syed Muhammad Abdullah Hossain, was one of Africa's longest anti-colonial struggles. Known as the Mad Mullah by the British, Syed Muhammad organized Somali tribes to resist British and Italian colonizers. His followers, the Dervishes, fought relentlessly to protect their land and sovereignty. The Dervishes engaged in a series of skirmishes, ambushes, and raids, evading capture for over 2 decades. Syed Muhammad's charisma and unyielding stance made him a powerful leader, drawing support from various Somali clans. He declared himself an Islamic leader, rallying his people under the banner of religious and national pride. The British eventually used aerial bombardments to break the resistance, making it one of the earliest uses of air power in Africa. Despite this, the Somali Dervishes' resistance became legendary, symbolizing the resilience of Somali culture and the fight for freedom. The Dervish movement left a lasting legacy in Somalia, where Syed Muhammad is remembered as a national hero, inspiring future generations to defend their independence. The Kosa Wars, also known as the Cape Frontier Wars, were a series of 9 conflicts fought between the Kosa people and European settlers, primarily the British, in what is now South Africa. Lasting over a century, these wars were driven by the British desire for land expansion and the Kosa people's determination to defend their ancestral lands. Each war was marked by fierce resistance from the Kosa, who were skilled in guerrilla warfare, utilizing their knowledge of the local terrain to strike effectively against the British. The British attempted to expand their control over the fertile lands along the Great Fish River, leading to repeated clashes. The Kosa relied heavily on the leadership of their chiefs, who united the people in their struggle. During the wars, the Kosa also used spiritual practices and rituals to rally their people, creating a strong sense of purpose and unity. The British, however, were relentless, using advanced weaponry and scorched-earth tactics to weaken the Kosa resistance. One of the most tragic events was the cattle killing movement of 1856, led by a prophetess named Nonkowas. She convinced the Kosa that if they sacrificed their cattle and destroyed their crops, the spirits of their ancestors would rise to drive out the colonizers. Thousands of cattle were killed, and famine struck, devastating the Kosa people. This event weakened the Kosa considerably, allowing the British to push further into their territory. By the end of the wars, the British had gained control of Kosa lands, but the Kosa's century-long resistance is remembered as a powerful symbol of courage and resilience. The Kosa Wars highlighted the devastating impact of colonial expansion and the unwavering spirit of the Kosa people in defending their land and heritage. The Zanzibari slave wars were a series of conflicts that erupted as European powers, particularly Britain, sought to end the lucrative slave trade in Zanzibar. The island of Zanzibar, off the coast of Tanzania, was a central hub in the East African slave trade, ruled by the Sultan of Zanzibar, who profited immensely from this inhumane enterprise. However, British abolitionists were determined to put an end to the slave trade, and tensions escalated when Britain demanded that the Sultan of Zanzibar abolish slavery. Initially, Sultan Baghash bin Said resisted, knowing that the trade was the backbone of Zanzibar's economy. When the Sultan's defiance persisted, Britain imposed a blockade, and tensions reached a boiling point. On August 27, 1896, British forces attacked the Sultan's palace, marking the start of what would later be called the shortest war in history, lasting just 38 minutes before the Sultan surrendered. The Zanzibari slave trade was formally abolished, and British control over Zanzibar was solidified. The end of the slave trade led to economic hardship in Zanzibar, but it marked a turning point in the British Empire's anti-slavery movement. The brief but impactful war highlighted the shifting dynamics of East Africa, as colonial powers enforced their laws on African territories. The abolition of slavery in Zanzibar became a major milestone in the global fight against human trafficking. The Zanzibari slave wars remain a poignant reminder of the region's struggle for autonomy against the imposition of foreign control. While the Sultan's resistance was short-lived, the consequences of ending the slave trade were profound, reshaping Zanzibar's society and economy. And that, my friends, was Africa's journey through courage, sacrifice, and determination. The wars that shook the continent were fought by brave men and women who stood for freedom. Now, as much as I'd love to chat more about battles, it's time for the next chapter. Ready to dive into the myths and legends of Africa? You're in for a treat. Welcome back, fellow travelers of time and myths. Chief Bakery here, ready to dive into the magical, mysterious, and sometimes downright strange world of Africa myths. Each of these stories comes from the heart of Africa, crafted by ancestors and passed down through generations. So grab your seats, because you're about to enter a world where animals talk, spirits roam, and the impossible happens every day. Anansi the spider is one of the most beloved figures in West African folklore, especially among the Okon people of Ghana. Known as a cunning trickster, Anansi is often depicted as a spider but can also appear as a man or a combination of both. Anansi's tales are filled with clever schemes, funny mishaps, and moral lessons, making him a favorite character for both young and old. Through his stories, Anansi teaches important life lessons, often warning against greed, pride, and foolishness. One of the most famous Anansi tales explains how he came to own all the stories in the world. According to legend, the sky god Niam possessed all stories and refused to share them. Anansi, determined to spread these stories, made a deal with Niam. He would capture the most dangerous creatures, Onini the python, Osibo the leopard, and Moesha the fairy, in exchange for the stories. Anansi's clever tricks and courage enabled him to capture each creature, and Niam granted him the right to tell the stories. Anansi's tales traveled far and wide, reaching the Caribbean and the Americas during the transatlantic slave trade, where they became an important part of African diasporic culture. In these tales, Anansi symbolizes resilience and the power of wit over brute strength, which resonated deeply with enslaved Africans who used the tales as a source of hope and identity. Today, Anansi is celebrated in festivals, literature, and even modern pop culture. His tales are told across the world, a testament to the enduring power of African storytelling and the importance of wit, wisdom, and creativity in overcoming challenges. The legend of Mwindo is an epic tale from the Nyanga people of the Congo. Mwindo, born with supernatural powers, is the son of Shemwindo, a cruel chief who despised him from birth. Shemwindo tried multiple times to kill Mwindo, fearing that his son's powers would eventually challenge his rule. But each time, Mwindo used his magical abilities to escape, growing stronger and more resilient. From the day he was born, Mwindo displayed powers beyond the ordinary. He could speak, walk, and perform incredible feats as a newborn. In his journey to survive and thrive, Mwindo faced numerous trials, battling enemies, and confronting terrifying creatures. Along the way, he befriended the god of lightning and learned wisdom from powerful spirits, each encounter shaping him into a formidable hero. One of the most memorable parts of Mwindo's story is his journey to the underworld, where he confronts his father's spirit and learns the importance of forgiveness, patience, and humility. He eventually returns to the living world, where he becomes a wise and just leader, bringing peace and prosperity to his people. The tale of Mwindo is rich with cultural teachings and moral lessons, emphasizing resilience, courage, and the importance of overcoming adversity. The legend of Mwindo is celebrated for its adventurous spirit and mythical grandeur. It remains one of the most cherished oral epics in Central Africa, reminding people of the power of perseverance, the strength of family, and the importance of spiritual growth. The baobab tree, known as the Tree of Life, is central to many myths in West Africa, particularly in Senegal. Legend has it that the baobab was once the most beautiful tree in the land, boasting graceful branches and delicate leaves. However, the tree was so proud of its beauty that it began to look down on the other plants and trees, boasting about its elegance. The gods, displeased with the baobab's arrogance, decided to teach it a lesson. They uprooted the baobab, turning it upside down so that its roots now stood in the sky, and its branches twisted downward into the earth. From that day on, the baobab became a symbol of humility, with its peculiar shape reminding people not to let pride get the better of them. Despite its unusual appearance, the baobab is revered for its resilience and utility, providing shelter, medicine, and food to those who respect it. The tree's fruits, leaves, and bark are all used in traditional medicine, making it invaluable to the communities that live near it. The myth of the baobab teaches humility and respect for the gift of nature. It serves as a reminder that beauty and power can be fleeting, and it's how we use our gifts that truly matters. In Senegal, the baobab continues to be a symbol of community strength and survival. In South Africa, the Balabidu people believe in the legend of Majoji, the Rain Queen. According to the myth, Majoji possesses the power to summon rain and ensure the prosperity of her people. Her lineage traces back through generations, and the Rain Queen is a title passed from mother to daughter. It's said that she can control the weather through dance, prayer, and rituals that honor the spirits of her ancestors. The Rain Queen lives a secluded life, rarely interacting with outsiders, as it's believed her power is strongest in solitude. Villagers bring her gifts and offerings to ensure favorable weather, especially during droughts. Her connection to nature and the rain is so deep that even when she is ill, the rain is said to fall lightly, showing the people her weakened state. This unique matrilineal power structure is rare in African folklore, where male chiefs and warriors often dominate the myths. Majoji's story emphasizes the importance of female leadership and the sacredness of water, especially in the dry regions of southern Africa. To this day, the Majoji lineage continues in South Africa, with each Rain Queen embodying the legacy of her ancestors. The myth of Majoji reminds her people of their connection to nature and the belief that their land, if respected, will provide for them. In Central African mythology, Kolonga is the vast ocean or river that separates the living world from the afterlife. According to the myth, when a person dies, their spirit must cross Kolonga to reach the world beyond. However, this journey is treacherous, and only the righteous can successfully cross into the land of their ancestors. Kolonga is guarded by ancestral spirits who guide and protect the souls of those who have lived good lives. For those who lived poorly or dishonorably, crossing Kolonga becomes nearly impossible. The myth emphasizes the importance of living with integrity and respect, for one's deeds in life determine the peace one will find in death. Kolonga is more than just a body of water, it symbolizes the boundary between life and death, the seen and unseen worlds. The belief in Kolonga connects Central African cultures to nature, water, and the cyclical nature of existence, with death not seen as an end but as a transition to another phase. The story of Kolonga serves as a spiritual guide for the living, reminding them of the ancestors watching over them and the need to live in harmony with the world. The myth is a reminder of the importance of honor, community, and respect for those who came before. The Himba people of Namibia believe that ancestral spirits play a crucial role in guiding and protecting the living. According to Himba mythology, the spirits of ancestors dwell among them, influencing the health, prosperity, and overall well-being of the community. These spirits communicate with the living through dreams, signs, and rituals. The Himba perform sacred ceremonies to honor their ancestors, often involving the burning of aromatic herbs and the offering of food. It's believed that when the ancestors are pleased, they bless the community with good fortune. However, if they feel neglected or disrespected, misfortune may follow, affecting crops, livestock, and even individual health. The Himba's belief in ancestral spirits reinforces the importance of family, community, and respect for one's roots. Children are taught to honor their ancestors from a young age, learning about their family lineage and the spiritual responsibilities they hold. This myth connects the Himba people deeply to their past, emphasizing the bond between the living and those who have come before. The presence of ancestral spirits in daily life serves as a constant reminder of their cultural values, keeping tradition alive in every generation. Nomi, known as the Zambezi River God, is a beloved and fearsome figure among the Tonga people of Zimbabwe and Zambia. Often depicted as a colossal serpent with a fish's body and a dragon's head, Nomi is believed to be the protector of the Zambezi River and the people who rely on it. According to the myth, Nomi controls the waters, including the floods and currents, which sometimes wreak havoc on those who try to tame the river. The most famous tale of Nomi revolves around the construction of the Kariba Dam in the 1950s. As engineers began building the dam, the river swelled to levels never seen before, causing massive flooding and destruction. Many believe this was Nomi wrath, angered by the disturbance to his sacred waters and separation from his wife, who, according to legend, resides on the other side of the dam. The floods were so severe that construction was halted multiple times. Local people began to make offerings, hoping to appease Nomi and prevent further disasters. But the myth warned that as long as the dam remained, Nomi would continue to show his displeasure. Even today, many believe that the floods and occasional tremors near the dam are caused by Nomi trying to reunite with his wife on the other side of the Zambezi. The legend of Nomi is a powerful reminder of the Tonga people's deep connection to nature and their belief in respecting natural forces. To them, Nomi symbolizes the power of the natural world, and the myth serves as a warning about the consequences of disturbing the balance between humanity and nature. Mommy Water, known as the water goddess, is one of the most famous deities across West and Central Africa, often depicted as a mesmerizing figure with long hair, jewelry, and a snake coiled around her body. The name, Mommy Water, translates to Mother of Water, and she is believed to inhabit rivers and oceans, appearing to people who need her guidance or blessings. Mommy Water embodies both the allure and mystery of water, symbolizing beauty, wealth, and spiritual power. According to legend, Mommy Water sometimes appears to fishermen, traders, or travelers, offering them wealth and success in exchange for their loyalty. She is known to grant riches, wisdom, or healing powers to those she favors, but her gifts come with conditions. Those blessed by Mommy Water must respect her and avoid speaking of their encounters with others, lest they lose everything she has given them. The myth of Mommy Water also comes with a darker side. Some tales say she can bring misfortune or illness to those who disrespect her or ignore her signs. Followers often leave offerings by the water's edge, fruits, coins, or beautiful trinkets, to seek her favor or make amends if they feel they have offended her. The myth of Mommy Water represents the complex relationship between people and water, a life-giving yet sometimes dangerous force. Her story reminds believers to respect nature's duality, the beauty and danger it holds, and to approach powerful forces with reverence and humility. The curse of the Kofubu River is a well-known legend among the Bemba people of Zambia. According to the myth, the river is home to the spirits of those who perished in its waters. The Bemba believe that these spirits linger by the river, and anyone who disrespects them risks bringing a terrible curse upon themselves. The river is both feared and revered, and locals approach it with caution and respect. The story tells of a man who once dared to cross the Kofubu River without making an offering to the spirits. His arrogance angered the river spirits, and as he was halfway across, he was mysteriously pulled beneath the waters, never to be seen again. After this event, the community began leaving offerings along the banks of the river, hoping to appease the spirits and avoid a similar fate. It's said that during the rainy season, when the river swells, the spirits become especially active, and it's dangerous to approach without showing proper reverence. Traditional healers sometimes perform rituals near the river to communicate with the spirits, asking for blessings or protection from misfortune. The curse of the Kofubu River teaches the importance of respecting sacred spaces and honoring those who have passed. To the Bemba, the river is more than just a source of water, it's a connection to the spiritual world and a reminder that the past is always present, watching over the living. The story of Sanjata, the legendary founder of the Mali Empire, is one of courage, resilience, and the fulfillment of destiny. According to Malian legend, Sanjata was born to a king and a woman cursed with a physical disability. The king's other wives mocked Sanjata and his mother, believing he would never become king. But the prophecy foretold that Sanjata would one day unite the kingdoms of Mali and bring prosperity to the land. One of Sanjata's greatest challenges came when a powerful witch cursed the kingdom, sending a monstrous buffalo to terrorize the villages. Despite his disability, Sanjata vowed to protect his people. With the help of a magical hunter, he learned of the witch's secret, confronting and ultimately defeating the buffalo, proving his strength and bravery. Sanjata's journey continued as he grew stronger, gathering allies and earning the loyalty of his people. Over time, he transformed from a ridiculed child into a respected leader, eventually founding the Mali Empire. His story inspired generations, teaching that greatness can come from the humblest beginnings. The myth of Sanjata is celebrated across West Africa, symbolizing resilience, wisdom, and the power of destiny. His journey from an outcast to a king who united a vast empire is a story of hope, reminding people that challenges can be overcome through courage and determination. And there you have it. From gods and tricksters to sacred rivers and powerful queens, Africa's myths hold the wisdom of ages. But we're not done yet. It's time to meet the mighty gods themselves, the beings that shape destiny and guard our world. So, stay tuned as we enter the realm of African gods. Greetings, seekers of ancient knowledge. We've explored Africa's heroes, its battles, and its legends, but now it's time to meet the gods, the powerful beings who created, protected, and sometimes challenged humanity. Prepare yourself for encounters with mighty deities whose stories are as old as time. In Yoruba belief, Olodumare is the supreme god, the creator of all existence, who governs over the heavens, earth, and everything within it. Olodumare is often described as all-powerful, omniscient, and omnipresent, embodying a force of purity and righteousness. He is seen as the source of Asi, the life force that empowers all things, including the other deities, or orishas. Unlike other gods who engage directly with humanity, Olodumare is remote, seldom interfering in human affairs. The Yoruba people believe that Olodumare entrusted the orishas, or intermediary gods, to manage aspects of the natural world and human life. However, Olodumare remains the ultimate authority, and no action can be taken without his consent. One famous tale speaks of Olodumare creating the universe and assigning Obatala, an orisha, to shape the earth. Obatala molded the land, plants, and animals, but Olodumare remained the force behind life, giving purpose to all creation. Olodumare's wisdom and benevolence are revered, reminding followers that their destinies are part of a greater cosmic design. Today, Olodumare is honored in Yoruba rituals as the source of existence, with prayers and offerings acknowledging his power. The myth of Olodumare teaches humility and respect for the universe, reminding people that while they may rely on the orishas, the ultimate power lies beyond human reach. Nyam, the god of the sky, is a central deity among the Okon people of Ghana. Nyam is revered as the creator of the universe and the father of all lesser gods, often associated with the sun, moon, and stars. His divine energy nourishes the earth, providing sunlight and rain essential for life. Nyam's wife, Asesia, is the earth goddess, and together they embody the balance of creation. According to Okon mythology, Nyam's children include other powerful deities who oversee specific domains, like rivers, forests, and agriculture. One of Nyam's most famous sons is Tono, the river god, who possesses bravery and strength, embodying Nyam's divine power on earth. Together, Nyam's family represents a structured hierarchy of gods that governs the world. A popular myth describes Nyam hiding the wisdom of the world in a tree, fearing humans might misuse it. Anansi the spider, however, outwitted Nyam and dispersed the wisdom among humanity. Though Nyam was initially angered, he later accepted that humans could wield knowledge responsibly, reinforcing his role as a compassionate yet wise ruler. Today, Nyam remains a central figure in Okon spirituality, symbolizing the vastness of the sky and the limitless potential of the universe. His myth teaches that while humanity may seek wisdom, it must be used with care, for Nyam is always watching over his creation. Amedioha, the Igbo god of thunder and lightning, is known as a force of justice and wrath. Often depicted as a powerful warrior, Amedioha is considered both a protector and a punisher. The Igbo people believe that he embodies truth and morality, punishing those who commit crimes or wrong others while protecting the righteous. Unlike other gods, Amedioha is feared and respected, with people taking care to avoid invoking his wrath. When thunder and lightning strike, the Igbo believe it's Amedioha expressing his anger, often as punishment for breaking spiritual or moral laws. His symbol is a white ram, which represents purity and justice, qualities Amedioha embodies. One famous tale tells of a dishonest man who stole from his neighbor, only to be struck by lightning on his way home. The villagers understood this as a judgment from Amedioha, reaffirming his role as the ultimate enforcer of justice. Amedioha's power is such that even those who wish to make amends must approach him with caution and respect. Amedioha's influence extends beyond punishment. He also blesses those who are honest and hardworking. In Igbo culture, he reminds people of the importance of integrity, showing that even gods value justice and fairness. Hika, the god of magic and medicine in ancient Egyptian mythology, was central to the Egyptian worldview. The Egyptians believed Hika was not only a god but also the force of magic itself, an energy that permeated every part of the universe. According to Egyptian belief, Hika's power allowed gods to perform miracles and humans to heal, protect, and connect with the divine. Hika's influence was so profound that he was considered part of creation, an unseen force that enabled the gods and pharaohs to manifest their will. Priests invoked Hika's name during rituals, believing that magic was essential to balance life and maintain order. To the Egyptians, magic was not just superstition, it was a divine science. A famous tale tells of Hika guiding the god Are as he crossed the sky in his sunbath, using magic to ward off the chaos serpent, Apep. This myth symbolizes Hika's role as a protector, keeping balance in the universe by helping Are defeat evil forces each day. To this day, Hika's name is synonymous with mysticism and healing in Egyptian history. His myth teaches the Egyptians' understanding of magic as an essential and sacred part of life, blending science and spirituality. Ogun, the Yoruba god of iron, war, and craftsmanship, is a revered deity known for his strength, resilience, and dedication. Ogun is said to have created iron, shaping tools and weapons that allowed humanity to build and defend itself. His presence is felt in places of work, especially among blacksmiths, hunters, and soldiers, as he is the god who grants skill and success in labor and battle. According to Yoruba mythology, Ogun was a warrior who cleared paths through thick forests, making way for civilization. In one tale, he used his machete to clear a path for his people, showing his devotion to helping humanity progress. His fiery personality and fierce temper are legendary, and it's believed that disrespecting him could lead to his wrath. Ogun's followers often make offerings of palm wine, animals, and iron objects to honor him. Festivals celebrating Ogun involve vibrant rituals, dances, and sacrifices, invoking his energy to bring strength and protection. His sacred day, Ogun Day, is filled with music, drumming, and feasts. Ogun embodies the Yoruba values of hard work, courage, and innovation. His myth teaches the importance of dedication to one's craft and the strength needed to overcome challenges. Ogun's influence is celebrated by his followers as they seek his blessings in their daily endeavors. Ala, also known as Ani, is the Igbo goddess of the earth, fertility, and morality. As the mother of all living things, Ala is highly revered in Igbo culture, responsible for the land's fertility and the moral guidance of her people. The Igbo believe that Ola nurtures life, providing bountiful harvest and nurturing the growth of plants, animals, and humans alike. Ala is also a guardian of the underworld, overseeing the souls of the deceased and ensuring they rest peacefully. Festivals dedicated to her, known as Ola's Festival, involve rituals to honor the land, with offerings to ensure prosperity and balance. She is seen as a fair but firm mother, and the Igbo believe that any disrespect towards the earth or community ethics displeases Ola. One famous myth speaks of Ola guiding a lost farmer back to his village after he showed her respect. She blessed him with abundant harvests, showing her generosity to those who honor her. However, disrespect for the land, like theft or harming the environment, invites Ola's wrath, as she is believed to punish those who disregard her principles. Today, Ola is a symbol of environmental respect and ethical living in Igbo culture. Her myth reminds her followers to treat the earth with respect and to live harmoniously within their community. Esho, the Yoruba god of communication, trickery, and the crossroads, is one of the most complex figures in African mythology. Known as a trickster god, Esho has the ability to change situations in unexpected ways, often playing pranks on both gods and humans alike. He embodies the unpredictable and chaotic aspect of life, challenging people to think carefully before making choices. As the god of the crossroads, Esho is believed to control the paths of fate and destiny. Yoruba people honor him when making important decisions, especially those involving new ventures, as they believe Esho can either bless or hinder their progress. His ability to communicate with the other Orishas makes him a messenger, delivering prayers from humans to the higher gods. In one well-known story, Esho places a hat with two different colors, one side red and the other blue, on his head and walks between two friends. Each friend, seeing a different color, starts arguing, each convinced they are correct. Esho's trick forces them to question their assumptions, illustrating his role in teaching people to consider different perspectives. Esho's influence is felt in every aspect of Yoruba culture, reminding people of the importance of adaptability, wit, and perspective. To this day, he is honored in ceremonies and offerings, as people seek his favor to open doors of opportunity or protect them from mischief. Nzambimpongo is the supreme god and creator of the universe in Congo mythology. Revered as the god of life, death, and nature, Nzambimpongo is seen as the giver of all things, providing life to humans, animals, and plants alike. He is believed to be omnipresent, watching over every aspect of existence and ensuring the natural order remains balanced. According to the Congo people, Nzambimpongo created the earth, sky, and all living creatures. He remains a distant yet powerful presence, rarely intervening directly in human affairs. Instead, he is worshipped for his wisdom, and people honor him by respecting the land and living in harmony with nature. A well-known tale tells of Nzambimpongo's creation of the human soul. The myth says that Nzambimpongo formed humans from clay, breathed life into them, and bestowed them with spirits that would one day return to him. This belief underscores the sacredness of life and the respect the Congo people have for both living beings and the land. Nzambimpongo's myth reinforces the Congo values of respect, balance, and harmony. His worship is a reminder that every part of creation is connected, and it is the duty of humans to live in peace with the natural world, honoring the life force that sustains them. Bombo, also known as Bomba, is the Bakuba god of creation in Congo mythology. According to the myth, in the beginning, there was only darkness, and Mombo lived alone in a vast, empty void. One day, Bombo felt a great pain and vomited up the sun, moon, stars, and eventually the earth itself, creating light and life in the process. As he continued to bring forth creation, Bombo also brought forth animals, plants, and the first humans. Each creature came from his body, connecting all life to Bombo himself. His act of creation was both solitary and self-sacrificing, as he gave parts of himself to populate the world, embodying the idea of a god who intimately connects with creation. Bombo's myth emphasizes the interconnectedness of life and the divine, where every living being carries a piece of the god who created it. His story teaches that life is sacred and that all creatures are part of a larger cosmic family, each with a purpose derived from the creator's essence. The Bakuba people honor Bombo through storytelling and songs, keeping alive the legacy of his creation. His myth is a beautiful reminder that we are all part of something larger and that every aspect of life is an expression of divine generosity. Shango, the Yoruba god of thunder, lightning, and fire, is one of the most revered and feared orishas. Known for his fiery temper and immense power, Shango commands the skies, bringing storms and lightning with his fury. He is associated with kingship, as he was once a mortal king before becoming deified. His symbols include the double-headed axe, representing justice and balance, as well as the color red, signifying his fiery nature. Shango's legend is one of transformation. Originally a king of the Yoruba city of Oyo, he became legendary for his strength and military prowess. However, his desire for power and mastery over thunder led to his downfall. After his death, he was transformed into an Orisha, symbolizing both human ambition and the divine power of thunder. In Yoruba culture, Shango is celebrated as both a protector and a punisher. His devotees call upon him for strength, courage, and justice, but they approach him with respect, knowing that his temper is as formidable as his power. Shango's festivals are lively, filled with drumming, dance, and fire, as his followers honor him with displays of passion and energy. Shango's myth teaches that power must be used wisely, as unchecked ambition can lead to downfall. His story embodies the virtues of leadership, bravery, and loyalty, but also serves as a reminder of the consequences of pride. And there you have it, friends. From the legendary heroes who defied empires, to wars that shook kingdoms, myths that revealed ancient truths, and gods that ruled the skies and seas, we've journeyed through the heart and soul of Africa. Each tale is a reminder that Africa is not just a place, it's a world of stories, of courage, of wisdom, and of mystery. These aren't just legends in a book, they are alive in the lands, the rivers, and the skies. Africa's spirit, my friends, is everywhere. So, what's the moral of this grand adventure, you ask? Respect for nature, resilience in the face of challenges, wisdom in the unexpected, and the strength to carve our own destiny. Africa's history, its myths, and its gods, these stories hold lessons for all of us, no matter where we are. Thank you for joining me, Chief Bakery the Bold, on this unforgettable journey. If you enjoyed this exploration, go on and hit that like button, subscribe, and keep those notifications on so you won't miss our next dive into the mysteries of the world. And remember, there's always another tale waiting to be told, another hero waiting to be remembered, and another God watching over us. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and as we say, keep the spirit of Africa close to your heart.